Yo, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking into this sleep paralysis story because the other night I had sleep paralysis, and believe it or not, there was a sleep paralysis demon in the corner of my freaking room, and that pretty much scared the hell out of me. So, yeah, let's get into that. My sleep paralysis has taken a terrifying new turn. I've been awake now for almost 60 hours, and I know I'm not going to last much longer. I'm so scared to sleep, or more accurately, I'm terrified of waking up once I go to sleep. I have insomnia, and I'm starting to wake up, like in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. I'll see things that aren't really there. Mostly I see spiders crawling on the walls. The first couple of times it seemed so real that I jumped out of the bed and began hitting at the walls with a shoe. When I couldn't find the spiders, I would search for them, making sure they weren't in the bed or on the floor or anywhere in my room. After a while, obviously, I just accepted the fact that they weren't real. It was just my brain tricking me as I awoke from a deep slumber. It also seemed as real as ever, and I still sometimes reacted by jumping to my feet in horror. But I also began to calm down quite a bit faster until I developed sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is a phenomenon during which you believe yourself to be fully awake. Something is happening that scares you, and you find that you can't move your body. You are completely out of control. My wife has gotten used to calming me once I fully awaken and can move again. It usually involves waking her up, crying, and just laying there before we're both able to get back to sleep. Recently, though, things have gotten so much worse. I'll start with what happened about a week ago. My wife was out of town for work, and I fell asleep in the living room. My cat, Cheddar, was snoozing next to me on my pillow, and my dog, Gizmo, was laying on the floor next to the sofa. I woke up and immediately saw what appeared to be a large wasp buzzing around my head. I couldn't move any part of my body or even shout, and the worst part was I couldn't even close my eyes. As the buzzing sound began, I realized the wasp had been quiet before and realized I was most likely hallucinating. The realization must have snapped my brain fully awake, and the wasp disappeared before my eyes. The buzzing, however, continued. Believing myself to be fully awake now and finding my body responding to commands for movement, I began to sit up and blink the sleep from my eyes. Halfway to a sitting position, I froze again. There was a figure standing at the foot of the couch. It was nearly pitch black, except for the glow from a small nightlight on the other side of the room, so I couldn't make out features, but I knew that my wife was out of town. The figure wasn't moving a muscle, and other than the unidentified buzzing sound, I heard nothing. No breathing, no rustling, as if from a slight shift of movement. He was as still as a statue. I decided I wasn't fully awake yet, and I needed to be proactive before these hallucinations got completely out of hand. So I spoke to it. Hello? My voice wasn't as strong and sure as I'd hoped, but I was proud of myself for facing my fears head on. The figure raised his head, and I knew that it was meeting my eyes. The buzzing sound cut off abruptly. My heart raced, and I felt the blood drain from my face. I blinked, and the figure's face was an inch from mine. Cheddar shrieked and ran off. I had no breath to scream. My eyes were locked in its dark gaze. Cold black eyes filled my vision, and I felt as if there were no good left in the world. A thick blanket of depression smothered my fear and left me wanting to die. I smelled his stale breath and felt his chest rise with it against my own. His knees were on the floor next to the couch, about where my dog had been, and I wondered in the back of my brain why he wasn't howling. He never blinked. It must have only lasted 10 or 15 seconds, but it was also a lifetime. I never blinked either. The paralysis was back with a vengeance. He spoke 3 words in a deep, gravely voice. Time is short. I blinked then, involuntarily, and he was gone. My dog was dead. He lay right where the dark visitor was. I started to think of him. I cried inconsolably for hours before taking him to be cremated. I have been visited at each waking since that night by the same figure. It doesn't matter if it's night or morning. He speaks the same words of warning each time, like a threat. I haven't told my wife, as there's nothing she can do from out of town anyway. She won't believe it's real and will only suggest I go see a doctor. Currently, I'm at a hotel. I know it won't stop my visitor from appearing, but it's worth a try, and at least my cat will be safe. I want to ask it questions. What does it mean that time is short? Is it talking about my time? The time of someone I love? Is it a warning I can react to? If so, why does it feel so utterly threatening? However, so far, I've been paralyzed each time. At this point, I keep nearly dozing off while I write this, but I wanted an account out there in case one of these times it kills me. If I'm still alive after the next waking, I'll report back what has happened. For now, good night or morning, whatever. I'm so tired I don't even know anymore. Cross your fingers for me, please.